What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you're having a good day so far, and welcome to episode number 4 of our depth chart review series. So today we're going to be taking a look at the tight ends coming into the 2020 NFL season for the Miami Dolphins, assessing team needs, potential trade opportunities, NFL rankings, and more. So if you guys are interested in this video and are excited to hear a little bit about the tight ends for the Dolphins, please feel free to leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so that you know when we're putting out more videos like this one. So as we inch closer and closer to the end of the offensive side of the ball for this series, I do have a couple of surprises coming your way. Number one, in this video, I am going to throw in a trade opportunity a little bit later on, talking about a certain player who's just requested a trade, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know who that is, but we'll be talking about this player and whether I think he could be a solid addition to this Miami Dolphins team. And second, as we talk about the final position on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line, I'm going to bring a special guest on to talk about what he thinks about the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins coming into the 2020 season. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into the tight end situation for the Miami Dolphins coming into this year, starting off with the first stringer, Mike Gesicki. Okay, so last year, Mike Gesicki recorded 51 receptions, 570 yards, 5 touchdowns with 11.2 yards per catch. All of those stats for Mike Gesicki are all within the top 15 among tight ends, and a lot of sources have him ranked closer to the top 10. Pro Football Focus rated him a 60.5, which is at the low end, but as we look forward to Gailey's new system, there is a ton of room for his players, especially Mike Gesicki, to skyrocket. Looking forward to Gailey's new system that he's bringing to Miami, I do believe Gesicki will line up out wide with the receivers a lot more than on the offensive line. I think he'll be used in the red zone a ton, and he should be a really nice option for Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh Rosen, or Tua to get the ball to consistently this season. Okay, so moving on past Mike Gesicki, what do we have backing him up? Number 2 on the depth chart, according to ESPN, is going to be Durham Smyth. He is a pure blocking tight end. He is not a pass catcher. He is on the offensive line, blocking for passing, blocking for running. That is what he does. So last year, he recorded 7 receptions, 65 yards, 0 touchdowns, 9.3 yards per catch, and Pro Football Focus rated him a 52.7. So that's a really low grade, but he's also just a total blocking tight end. So he's nothing really more than that to this system. He's not going to be used in the passing game much at all, if at all, period, because of Gailey's system that he's bringing in. So looking past Durham Smyth, you find Chandler Cox, who is just a fullback tight end hybrid, and he didn't even record any stats to be put up online with ESPN, Pro Football Focus, anybody. So Chandler Cox, I don't really assess him because he's not too much of a tight end to me. He's really just a fullback, and I don't know how much he'll even be used at all in this new system. And beyond Chandler Cox, the last guy in line for the tight ends is Michael Roberts. Now, we just brought him in, and he didn't play at all this last season. He had a shoulder injury, he had surgery, it put him out for the whole year. So looking back to 2018, he recorded 9 receptions, 100 yards flat, 3 touchdowns, 11.1 yards per catch. Pro Football Focus rated him a 55.6. Now, for 2 years in Detroit, Michael Roberts did show some small flashes, but he isn't the most consistent in really any aspect of his game. So the good news in all of this is Michael Roberts should be back to form, almost fully healthy by the time training camps come along, so we should be able to really get an idea of what he can bring to this football team without worrying about whether he's suffering any injury or not. So we'll kind of have to just wait and see what he can do. It's a guessing game, and only time will tell what Michael Roberts can really bring to the Dolphins. But I think that he has some promise as a backup tight end, and it might even be a situation where he sees more snaps than someone like Durham Smyth just because of his pure ability to catch the ball. So my overall grade for the tight ends in Miami is going to be a C. I think that's pretty generous in my opinion, and it's really only thanks to Gesicki's breakout last year. If he continues trending upward, then he's going to have a lot to bring to the table for some time to come. But if he isn't able to produce this year, the group's definitely going to plummet towards the bottom of the league without anybody there to catch the ball at the tight end's position. So now that we've gotten my personal grade out of the way, where do the Dolphins stack up against the rest of the NFL for tight ends? NESN.com, that's NewEnglandSportsNetwork.com, ranks the Dolphins tight end core at 22nd in the NFL coming into the 2020 season. I agree with that for the most part. I think that this tight ends group sits a lot on Kiseki shoulders and really does depend on his ability to perform once again this coming year. With the struggles that the offensive line are surely going to have, an aging Ryan Fitzpatrick, and behind him a struggling Josh Rosen, there's really no telling what kind of season this offense is going to have. If Kiseki enjoys another solid NFL season next year, he'll certainly be trending upwards towards one of the better tight ends in the league. But like I said earlier, if he doesn't, then this group as a whole is going to fall very hard towards the bottom. Now, as we talk about how heavily the tight end situation does sit on Mike Gesicki's shoulders, I do want to discuss a trade opportunity for the Miami Dolphins. David Njoku just requested a trade from the Browns, and he is one of the more talented tight ends in the NFL. He's an extremely athletic, big guy with good hands, and he does pretty much everything you'd want him to do, barring staying healthy. That's his biggest question mark, is David Njoku's health. He sat out the majority of last year with some health concerns, and so that's the biggest question mark when it comes to somebody like him. If he can stay on the field, he's extremely talented. He has all of the physical gifts and intangibles to succeed in the NFL, and him and Kiseki would make a crazy 1-2 punch to get the ball to. So as I said, Njoku sat out the majority of last season, so I'd like to take a look at his 2018 stats. So in 2018, David Njoku recorded 56 receptions for 639 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 11.4 yards per catch with a 66.3 Pro Football Focus grade. There's absolutely no question that David Njoku is a supremely talented tight end, and the Dolphins, if they were able to get their hands on him, would deepen the tight ends group a ton and it would be a great group. Now, the biggest question is the asking price. What would the Browns want to get for David Njoku? If it's a situation where they're asking for a first-round pick, I really have a lot of questions whether the Dolphins would even consider doing that, and I probably wouldn't pull the trigger on that either, just especially considering that he had the injury concerns that he did. Now, if the price sat more along like a 3rd round or 4th round pick, that would be something that I'd be much more inclined to listen to. So let me know what you guys think down below of this trade opportunity. Do you think the Dolphins should reach out and try to get their hands on David Njoku? And if you do think that that's a good idea, what would be your ideal asking price? So the final thing I want to talk about just real quick, the last topic in this video, is Chan Gailey. He is the absolute wild card. He has the biggest control over how this offense is going to go. He's our newest coordinator, coming back to Miami for the 2nd time, and he's been around the NFL as a coach and a coordinator since the 80s. This guy's been around football for a long time. He knows how to operate an offense, and he's bringing a totally fresh system into Miami. However, when you look at Chan Gailey's history as a coordinator and as a coach, there's only one season in his career where his tight end has performed anywhere near a Pro Bowl type season. That was in 2008 when he had Tony Gonzalez in Kansas City, and he was absolutely racking up the yards, catches, touchdowns, pretty much any category for tight ends. Tony Gonzalez is one of the greatest of all time. But if you take away that one season for Tony Gonzalez, what do you really have with Chan Gailey? It's a pretty wish-washy group of tight ends who have ever really been in his systems. No one has really produced consistently, and it's always been just kind of an up and down roller coaster ride for the tight ends in Chan Gailey's system. So the biggest question to me is whether Chan Gailey's system is going to lend itself to Mike Gesicki's talents or not, and how he'll use them. If Chan Gailey thinks that he's going to use Mike Gesicki as a blocker and put him on the line a lot, I don't think at all that Mike Gesicki is going to enjoy any kind of season like he did last year. I think it's going to be a huge struggle, and I don't think it's going to work out well at all. Now, if Chan Gailey does decide to use him more as a receiver and line him up outside, I think that's where you're going to see a lot of success for Mike Gesicki and this offense as a whole. So let me know what you guys think down below about Chan Gailey's system that's coming into Miami. Do you have a lot of faith in his abilities to use these players to the best of their potential? And also, if you want to see the article that I read earlier, just kind of mapping out the tight ends through Chan Gailey's career, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Feel free to check that one out. So that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you checking everything out. And like I said earlier, if you guys are newer to the channel and you haven't seen anything that we've done yet, I'll put a link up above right now so you guys can check out the video series that we're doing right now, breaking down the depth chart for the Miami Dolphins coming into the 2020 NFL season. We've also got tons of breaking news updates, including the Patrick Mahomes massive deal. If you want to check out that video, I'll put it up above as well. So one last thing that I wanted to say, guys, and that was a big thank you to all of you who have been subscribed and who continue to come back, comment, watch the videos, leave likes, all that good stuff. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. And because of you guys, we're making a lot of improvements to the channel. I'm sure you guys have noticed we have some new intros, new logos, new music, all that stuff. And it's really all thanks to you guys. Without you, we wouldn't be here doing this. So be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the overhaul of logos and intros, outros, new music. How do you guys feel about the new brand of the channel. If you enjoy it, leave a thumbs up. If you don't, that's totally okay. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below. So thanks a ton for watching, guys. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your week, and as always, fins up.